They believe the disability card would bring dignity and opportunity to persons with disabilities. Instead, it has become a tool for exploitation. In this investigation, I uncover how some car dealers are using people with disabilities to evade taxes, paying them as little as 200 kwacha, while reaping huge profits from tax-free vehicle imports.
We went to Nakonda and bought cars. After I came back, he just gave us 200 kwacha each. And it took us a month to get back our cards. Even now, people who are doing this are still there. They have used us like that before. And the amount money we are given was too small. So it's very difficult, and the cards landed us into trouble. And the small amount of money we are given doesn't do anything. They only gave us 3,000 kwacha.
These are just two of many stories across districts in Zambia. Persons with disabilities say they are being used as fronts to import vehicles tax-free, only to be abandoned once the deal is done. Some are paid 3,500 kwacha, others just 200 kwacha. And when they demand what was promised or ask for more, they receive threats.
He took us, promising that he's going to give us some money. That's when he pointed us a pistol, saying, "This card is just for free. If I want, I can shoot you."
We approached car dealers accused of exploiting this loophole. The person interviewed requested that his identity be protected, so we used a voice-over artist.
I am a car dealer. I buy and sell cars on behalf of our clients. About the disability, yes, at times we use it to buy cars because it's a bit cheaper. Those who want to buy through this method come with the disability cards already negotiated for with the owner. So what happens is we deposit the money in the account of the owner of the card, because the car comes in the name of the person, and then we begin the process. Everything, talking of registration, is done in the name of the card owner, and the car comes like that. We go with the person to Tanzania to secure the car, and then proceed to ZRA where it is exempted for tax. The car is then taken to Ratsa and Interpol for registration, and the process is done. We agree on how much we pay the owner of the card. Mainly we pay for all the expenses, and so we give them according to the agreement. Like say, take for example, some would want an 8,000, others a 2,000, just according to the agreement. We do this because, take for example, I want to buy a car costing, let's say, $2,500, which is about rather 70,000 plus shipping and tax. It comes to about 165. But without tax, I can easily get it at maybe at 105 or 90,000 kwacha. So we know what we do is a crime, but looking at the heading economy, we have to do it so as to make ends meet.
But these agreements are often verbal. No legal protection, no fair compensation. And when the cars develop faults, the same individuals who never drove them are called to help, often walking away with as little as 50 kwacha.
But if come across some problems in the process, that's when he call you so that you control things there. Then after that, you just walk away with not more than 100 kwacha.
Persons with disabilities say the Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities, ZAPID, is not just silent. It is being accused by some of its members of being involved.
They had a connection from headquarters, Lusaka. So when they contact them saying we have such a card, that's when people from Lusaka gives them numbers from the system. Once they are given a recommendation letter, then everything is good. What is needed is just a recommendation letter.
These recommendation letters are what car dealers use to secure tax exemption from Zambia Revenue Authority. With them, importers can bring in vehicles duty-free under the pretense that they are intended for persons with disabilities. I contacted Zapid for a response to these allegations. Jane Mulengankonde is Zapid Northern Province Coordinator.
Importation of the vehicles.
The issue of importing vehicles the government has allowed to the disabled to buy, according to the law number 6 of 2012, Disability Act, the statutory instrument 2021 for Zambia Revenue Authority, it has given guidelines on what a person should follow so that the vehicle is imported and gets cleared at the border with all the documents that should be presented. So if the other means are happening elsewhere, where one gives another person to their cards to buy a vehicle using their name, and then you are saying that it is even involving officers without our knowledge, we would like you to come forward with your disability card if you are a victim and report at our office. You can visit our office and report, including the officers involved in allowing this, because there are other officers protecting what the law says, and this is happening without our knowledge. You can come forward and report with evidence, and it is very easy to handle the case, but if you do not have evidence, we can just be talking in ignorance or oblivious, asking yourselves if it does happen or not. You should come forward with evidence and report by letting us know individuals involved in this act.
The Zambia Revenue Authority is responsible for clearing imported goods into the country, including vehicles. ZRA was asked to explain how the exemption system is supposed to function and where it's failing.
Basically, for one to be exempted, they have to be a member of the Zambia Association of Persons with Disabilities. So under that, the Zapid is there are certain exemptions that are given to Zapid. So if one is a certified and registered member of Zapid, yes, they qualify for that exemption. They are able to bring in a vehicle which is modified to suit their disability, for lack of a term, if I can use that word. And they can only do that, they can only import one vehicle once every 5 years, but they have to be registered with Zambia Association of Persons with Disabilities to avoid abuse. For you to acquire a vehicle, you must first, because there has to be proof that there's a disability. You have the card. It's not only the card. So that card is basically proof of affiliation to the Zambia Association of Persons with Disabilities. So our system does not allow people that are not exempted to acquire such a vehicle using that facility. So in my case, for example, I should not qualify even if there's a card, unless basically one is evading taxes and using that card. The law does not provide for people without disabilities to use that facility. It is only people with disabilities that are able to use that facility. It must belong to the PID.
That was ZRA Communications Manager Oliver Nzala. The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, handles the registration of all private vehicles brought into the country. During interviews, some persons with disabilities mentioned the agency, raising questions about its role in the system.
It's not RATSA to tell, because RATSA is not the authorizing officer of which disabled can have this. But what we can attest is that we had previous issues whereby the incentive that could be made for disabled, as we were trying to deal with them, we are finding the people were slightly more different, and we used to report to ZRA to say, but what about this, what about this? But for now, we are told ZRA, Minister of Community, and finance are working on modalities.
That was RATSA Principal Registration in Charge for Motor Vehicles, Dr. Evans Mwamba. Through this investigation, Radio Mano has found that what began as a policy to empower persons with disabilities is now being manipulated for profit, leaving many vulnerable to exploitation, threats, and even violence.